The last time you were here on Bravo, complete and utter insanity took place, as this is where the Genji team collapsed. It's fortunately
the first match. Yeah, right?
No, they were here too. They were on Bravo both times. But this Miles Momo just casted the loss here because I walked over. So, well, yeah, actually, that's where, both the Genji's losses were on Bravo. So they probably don't want to be near this whatsoever.
I don't think they're. I think they're gone.
Yeah, they're probably gone. Definitely gone. But we'll focus on our final match of the night. And then we have, I mean, if you're not familiar with the format, we have group play today, group play tomorrow, 3 days of bracket play, then Friday through Sunday. That's when the fans will be in attendance, and we'll switch over to the stadium. But we're getting right into our final series on Bravo for the night. It's going to be FaZe Clan going up against Mazer. FaZe has been controlling their fates within their group so far. Have you got to see anything out of Mazer so far? I know it's tough with us bouncing around casting.
Well, I think they lost their first match, I believe. So they're not in a good spot right now. And you're going up against FaZe Clan, who the top team in this pool, and we know it just feels like this team continues to get better and better. If you look at their Miami performance, a great Saturday, not the best Sunday, but still, we all think they're a top 4 team in the world. And I believe last time for FaZe, they started on frequency hardpoint. It was a close game, and then they just blew it wide open.
Yeah, the last I saw for this particular group is basically if FaZe and Units win their next match, they both clinch bracket play. So that's the spot we're finding ourselves now. They'll get in comfortably. And FaZe Clan, well, fantastic start. You are flawless at the first hard point. You're going to rack up over 50 seconds, and you've got control of the back for next. It could not be better in the opening moments of this hard point. I mean, they started out high. I think their first map of the tournament, they outside a team by, it was like 56 kills and won the hard point. So in respawns, they have absolutely been clicking, and I think there's a lot of high expectations for this FaZe team at this tournament. They've showed they've got what it takes to make a deep run.
I think the big thing for FaZe too is they've stayed hungry. Like, it just feels like every single event these guys are getting better. We know there's a lot of young players on this team, a lot of young talent, but it feels like they're starting to live up to that hype. Guys like Shelium, one of my favorite players to watch in the entire pro league. Like, what the guy does in S&D, he's just a very smart player, and yeah, FaZe just handling business right now.
Mazer yet to get a point on the board. Spacely probably just watched Genji get knocked out. Not sure how he'll feel about that, because he's had an interesting kind of relationship with that organization throughout the course of the year. On the team, comes in as a sub. Off the team, it's been all over the place. His chances for getting into bracket play slim.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm sure he highly cares about that right now, because his own tournament life is on the line. As they were able to, I think they go like game 5 with Units, and that was probably the one match, if they were going to get out of the groups, they had to win. And it's their first match of the tournament, goes the distance, but Units able to win that one. I mean, if you look at this Mazer lineup, it's all people we have seen before, right?
Well, especially Brazilian and Jet Li. I mean, they were on that original Midnight roster in the league. Remember, they started out in first place through the first couple of weeks. What was it, a 5-2 start I think they had. Heading into our second tournament, there were such high hopes. The team fell apart and things kind of went all over the place. But yeah, they were in a position where they were on one of the top teams in the game, at least early in this title.
And then Apox and Mosh, always top amateurs, a ton of champs experience. It felt like 2 of the guys that are on their way to being pros, but that was a few years ago, right? Like, we just expected them to get into the pro league at some point, just not able to qualify yet, but it just feels like every single champs time you look at an amateur team, they're on a roster, they have a lot of experience. So yeah, definitely not a team that FaZe can take lightly.
Well, they're rolling through them right now, at least, as the lead's sitting around 80 points. Asim up over the top. Zuma's going to call in his lightning strike, which will connect as well. Nobody home, at least at the back elbows. He's going to snap back to help Celium. Celium and Asim able to combine together to take down 2. And how special have these 2 players been this year? Asim and Celium. I think for Celium, everyone's kind of known him as coming for years. Like, he just like Sim. Like, you knew he was the next guy up. You knew how good he was going to be. But I think for a lot of us, Asim has just been kind of like a treat this year. I mean, you knew the name early in the year, but he kind of came out of nowhere.
I would say for Celium, though, obviously when you hear about these guys and when they're like up-and-comers, search and destroy stars, you don't know the type of player they're going to be, right? Like, sort of, how are they going to work in a system with respawns? And it felt like Celium is really almost turned into a leader for this team, right? Like, where Asim is just sort of, what do you need me to do? Like, I'll go here. Like, when it comes to search and destroy, Celium is the guy making the shot calls, right? Like, how do we want to approach these situations? So that's why I think it's impressive, because he's a very young player, but he's also wearing a number of different hats.
He's done it so well. Is the lead now up over 100 inside of the Hardpointer FaZe clan, and now it's Purifier out. A great position to have it. Here they come. Flak jacket abound though. Zero's only able to take one with him, and then the rest of it goes the way of Mazer. So a great break getting through that Purifier as Jetly picks up 2, and then Spacely gets the final player in transition. That's going to call in the War Machine immediately to try and lock down backside orange. No Flak jacket on the first. I thought a direct hit onto the second, but just not able to clean up that kill. So 2 players from FaZe clan will actually get to back orange, and there's a fight going down from that position.
I honestly thought that was a very interesting. I don't know if I agree with that War Machine call, and I think Spacely maybe just trying to catch FaZe off guard, but I mean, typically when you want to use it is to break a hill or to hold a hill, and what he was trying to do is win the rotation with that War Machine, and it's just tough, right? Like, you have to bounce the shots over the staircase, you have to put them inside when they can just hide behind the table, so maybe a questionable War Machine play, but again, you're down 100 points, you're trying to make any play you can.
Mazer so desperately need to get some time on this hard point, but now it's going to be the War Machine from Scraps and the Tempest from Celium, plus a little bit of Attack 5 remaining on Celium as well, so a lot invested here to really put Mazer away. The War Machine's going to keep them at bay at that back balcony.
That's your teammate.
Yeah, selling that. Okay. That looked interesting, but he's able to hit the shot on the opposition as well, and they're still going to accrue all the time. Finally, he's going to get dropped. Zuma does enough damage to keep them in position to make a play, and now you would love to have an opportunity to flip the spawns, but Mazer, despite being down so massively, are going to have to opt to rotate, so they'll set up over towards blue. Zuma on a 9 streak has earned some more streaks. He already saw the lightning thrown at pipes the last time in. Now another Hellstorm and lightning to use it as well. There's the lightning.
I feel like FaZe 2 has been like, in a way, just like such a quiet beast, right? Like they've just been quietly working their way up the ranks, getting better and better. Where like, you know, we put so much pressure on like the United, the Gen G, the 100 Thieves for like potential shot to win a tournament. I think FaZe has a very good chance to win this thing.
What a tournament it would be to win. No wins this year. FaZe doesn't even make it in through the Pro League qualifier. It's been a crazy year for the brand and these players. They have a complete rebuild outside of what, Zuma.
Yeah, imagine not qualifying for the Pro League, getting a spot and then winning champs. It'd be quite an investment.
It's not impossible.
No.
It's not impossible. It looked good earlier, but now it's 29 more points needed to close this out. Zuma, nice little stun in, going to connect on it. I thought both players, but I don't think the one in the back got hit by it. 4 still going to go down though for Mazer, and they've got a presence in the back elbow, mid-map control as well for FaZe. They're in a good position here for pipes. They can win it here.
See how Mazer try to break this. Looks like they're just trying to brute force with numbers through that blue side of the map, with the Hellstorm going to be called in. Should be able to find one. Actually misses. Mosh top middle, and Mosh read that. He knew he was inside elevator, so now that's 3 down. Make it 4 for FaZe. Celium, the last player alive with this SOG. And, you know, it's just sometimes you think you're going to hit an easy rocket.
Well, he just shot it right down the ladder, right? Just whiffed it, unfortunately.
Well, I think he thought he was down there.
Oh, it just could have been that, too. Yeah, it could have been that.
But it's fine. They just get all the kills they need.
And I think you can see once again the slaying prowess of this FaZe clan roster. I mean, over the years, that has been one thing we've highlighted time and time again. It feels like for this squad, they always have firepower to use, and now a chance for more streaks, which aren't likely going to matter, as Celium was close to earning them, but they just need 3 more points. A last grasp effort for Mazer to try and get in. They do get in long enough to make sure that FaZe can't close it out there. But now we'll get back over to elevator. No specialists to use really for either side. Just gonna need to be a gun-up break for FaZe clan to close it out.
Yeah, see him in a good position there. I thought he was gonna catch multiple out, but he weakens a few up. The rest of his team gets inside, and FaZe very comfortably take map number 1 over Mazer.
Oh, yeah, when you go up 100.
Just right from the start. Yeah, I mean, right from the start. Just completely took over the game. Everyone having a solid one, but I think it was Zero who just started off like 16-8.
Well, you can't get dominated at elevator and also not have spawns for orange. It's just you're literally putting yourself at like an 80 to 100 point hole to start out the game. So, yeah, fantastic job by FaZe in the opening, and I think one impressive thing from that as well. Sometimes you see those hot starts, teams kind of take their foot off the gas a little bit, let teams crawl back into it. It's closer than it should be, but no, they just put their foot on the throat and just kind of pinned him to the ground and dominated that game.
It's violent.
Yeah, that was kind of a violent visual, and I apologize for that.
Hold on,
if you've ever been kicked in the throat before.
Okay. Yeah.
That would hurt.
That would hurt. That would hurt bad.
And I'm sure that hurt Mazer.
Well, yeah, going down 0-1.
But to stay alive, Mazer have got to take this series, really. They have to start to do it in the search and destroy. We'll see if that's maybe where they can get something going. I mean, to be fair, that has been the most vulnerable thing for FaZe.
Crazy tiebreaker, like you have FaZe at 3-0, and then everyone else at 1-2. But then they still have a map loss to units. So I don't know. It would have to be some crazy tiebreaker if they lose this one. But taking a look at the pool is, yes, that is not it's not wrong. Group B, Gen G 0-2 out of the tournament already. In Group A, Celtic just got absolutely destroyed by E United.
Yeah,
so that was a fast one. What did Bance say?
He was just like, all right, well, let's get on to the next one, or something like that. Like,
he's like,
he's like, basically he blinked his eyes, and that series was over.
So, yeah, Units, oh, they already won. So it can't happen. Yeah, Mazer has to win this. So Units is 2-0. FaZe, if they win this, they'd be 2-0. So FaZe and Units tomorrow would just play for first place.
Okay. Which is, I think, probably what you'd expect, at least, coming into this, unless, well, especially with Units finishing that way. I mean, FaZe would have been the heavy favorite within this. Outside of that, I guess we're still waiting on more matches to go down within Group D.
Yeah, Reciprocity and Envy, I think, are playing right now. I think they're the last match on Alpha.
So what do we have that's been really startling? The LG loss, Gen G, obviously. Has there been anything else I've missed?
I think that's about it. I don't think there's anything else that's too crazy. It looks like Group H, we didn't really see too much of that, but Splice and Heretics took care of business. EG and Optic took care of business. Yeah, it's actually surprising because in Group H, Aspire and Hybrid are like some of the two top amateur teams that like we thought had a lot of North American veterans, might cause some noise. Both got 3-0'd.
Well, it actually, we'll see how it plays out, but it might not actually be that crazy of a result for the AM teams. Like I think I was kind of gassing it a little bit even on Twitter because Gen G lost. Like AM teams are playing better than I expected, but we had 6 AM teams come out into the 60-team bracket
this year.
Yeah, which isn't much. That's actually less than the last like 3 years.
Really?
So,
yeah.
So overall, it might not actually be that much at all. There's been some map upsets, but yeah, other than LG and Gen G, nothing that crazy. And I believe LG UIU will be one of the first matches tomorrow, so that's going to be a massive one with regards to Group B. But yeah, now I'm wondering if I kind of overgassed this AM thing, because if it ends up only being 2 or 3 teams that come out, like that's actually less than the last 2 or 3 years.
I think it's just so impressive. I think we're looking at it that 2 AM teams beat Gen G.
Yeah,
right. I think that's like a big part of it.
Yeah,
like that Fuego and whoever else, just the Team War just beat Gen G. So I think that's what's like so surprising to us. Like the number 2 team in the world.
It is the most ridiculous result I've ever seen. I've been casting this game a long time. I can't think of anything compares.
And there's people like talking about like how we were talking in the green room, like oh it's not as crazy as Optic because Optic wasn't crazy that great that year, but Optic still went 2-1, right? Like they just had a bad tiebreaker, and that happens, right? But they went 2-1.
Yeah. That's true.
They just went 0-2 to their bottom 2 teams in the pool.
It's funny because I tweeted about how this is the most disappointing result of all time. A couple people tweeted me something like, "You do know that TK and EG were 1 map away from being knocked out too." I'm like, "Yeah, but they didn't get knocked out.
It didn't happen.
Yeah, they didn't, and they got top 2 a chance."
Yeah.
So like, yes, there have been a lot of times over the past couple of years where it's been very close. Teams have almost been knocked out. Teams have been in Gen G's spot, but those teams have clutched up.
Yeah, I mean the team when I got second, I was in a S&D tiebreaker.
Oh, that's right. That was
so
wild.
like I got out of pools though.
Yeah.
Like I still got out.
Yeah. You don't remember that part of it. Like when you get second place, you don't remember the pool place.
Of course,
like
it's 1 or 2 maps in a round robin once with 4 teams, right? Like of course, yeah, 1 or 2 maps really changes the difference. Yes, it does. It's crazy. As crazy as that is.
Oh God, what a wild day it's been. But back to this series, FaZe clobber Mazer in the map 1. See if Mazer have anything they can do in the search and destroy. Spacely gets a big nod for what he was able to do in search with that Gen G squad. Unfortunately for him, he's going to get first blooded trying to push across mid-map, but his teammate's able to make the play top mid. Brings us even to 3 versus 3.
And if there's one game mode you expect this Mazer team to be solid at, it's search and destroy, right? Spacely's on this team. Spacely can try to just, use that system that he had with Gen G where they went undefeated in the Pro League forever. So you would think that Mazer should be a solid S&D team. And FaZe, that's one thing that we really looked at Miami, at Anaheim. Can they continue to improve in search and destroy? Because they've been such a strong respawn team since they formed.
See the best play from Barzillion. Nice little hip fire inside of elevator. Celian, well, he's getting pinched anyway, so he was in a world of trouble. But nice opening round for Mazer, considering you get first blooded. And I thought they were going to lose bomb, really, in the opposite team's base to kick off the round, but they're able to recover. Now we'll switch sides. And what does FaZe's opening look like? looks like they want to get mid-map presence as well. We've seen this a lot from them on really a variety of maps where they really just want aggression, mid-map control, easy transitions to either bomb site, and they just go soaring on through. Unfortunately for them, though, one of the kills ends up being a team kill, so they're going to find themselves in an early 3 versus 4.
Well, what's so interesting when you go top middle on this map, right? So there's the option you can drop ladders and go low B. You can fly out to B like we just saw. You can go into their base and try to wrap around A. It really gives you a lot of options. But they do get cut down. The team kill comes in, and guess who? Zero flying off the map.
What was that matchup? What was that matchup where
he was like 7-7 and like jumped off like 4 times?
No, I remember it was bad. I just felt bad.
Hacienda, he does it all the time.
Yeah, I think it's what it was.
I would like love to challenge the fact that like 30% of his S&D deaths are just flying off the map.
When you're that guy playing on an island sometimes, or the offsite, that's.
Should we have JP do it? Just see how JP.
Yeah, right. Look that up. That's what he does all night. Yeah. Thanks, JP. Can you hear us, buddy?
Yeah.
2-0 lead for Mazer. The aggression mid-map and lockdown paid off last time. This time, FaZe Clan want to meet them in mid. You said number 6 and 10, and Zuma in the seam.
Yeah, those guys are just bottom ladder, but you have one guy top middle watching over the window, and then both the other players just playing it for information. It's going to be Zero and Celium. So Celium's going to spot this, and then immediately you see that rotation. Number 10, that was a seam. He pops up, rotates around, but Apox with a nice nade. Cluster out from Scraps, but it's just early kills, early advantage for Mazer once again, getting this bomb down.
And you've got a flank going down this 3v5. So you have a 5-on-2 on this side of the map, really until Zuma gets involved.
Mr. Incredible there. Flopping around. You see that guy? Just look at the dead body.
No, those things freak me out.
Yes.
Scraps in a 1 versus 4. It's funny because I was looking at the top of the screen, like at the banner, so I actually did that. I was like, what are you talking about?
I know. It's just, there was literally just a body just
Well, I've seen that happen in Blackout sometimes where like stretches their body out all crazy. Looks like Slender Man. Terrifies me. Well, if it was Zero's turn last time, this time it'll be Scraps finding his way off the map. Mazer looking so good in the early rounds of Search and Destroy.
And this worries me because, like, again, we've talked about it. FaZe, you're not going to win 3 respawns against E United, against 100 Thieves. You have to be able to win Search and Destroy. You just have to, right? Like, I want to see them be a solid S&D team. And we saw a glimpse of that Saturday at Miami, but that was one day. That was just one day. Sunday, they got beat.
Well, I guess that's one good thing for them in the sense of if Mazer are a solid Search team, like getting reps against a team like this early in the tournament could pay off for them.
Yeah, just all of them, like all their matches, just getting more repetitions. Because we know pro players don't practice S&D that much, so yeah, any repetition should help these guys.
Who is talking about playing a lot of Search leading into this? Oh, it was Aches on Hot Mic. Said they were playing a lot of Search, yeah.
Well, that's a good thing because they went in Game 5, map number 1.
They got full sail.
That's not good either.
1v2 though for Mosh. They go up 4-0. Got to find the picks, got to find the defuse. 250 off streaks as well. So some decision making as they're both going to double peek. He gets a lot of information there, gets some damage in, but for them, for FaZe, you're just wasting time, right? 10 seconds go by while he is locked up mid-map. Tries to find a timing, not able to do it. No round, no streaks.
Say how close was he?
There. 250, I think. I feel like if it's a 1v3 or 1v4, you definitely get out, but a 1v2 maybe just seems so manageable. To be,
1v2,
but you're up
like
3-0.
That's what
you're
I'm saying.
Up 3-0, yeah.
20 seconds left in 1 versus 2. I'm probably playing my life there. Yeah.
We'll see if it costs him. FaZe finally get around on the board, able to close out the 2v1. You can see, I mean, it's been basically Scraps. No one really has. We've got 3 players with 1 kill right now. See if they can turn it around. Zero playing that offside. That's his role on most maps. So he'll be the one guy deep here. You have to rely on smart decision-making and call-outs from him.
What's going to happen to Mosh? Mosh is getting pushed by 3 players. Can he stay alive? Nope. Asim's going to find that first blood. They just put so much pressure on Elevator. They knew they were going towards that B side with the info that Zero was able to obtain and give them. So now a 5 versus 4 retake, and it's just so hard when you don't have top middle control. You're just stuck in those pipes.
Someone's got to be the bait to fly in. It's going to be Asim, and he wins his one-on-one. That's probably the round. The fact that he's able to get in and get a kill. They soar on forward. 1 player left in Jet Li, and he will get cut down. Like, I was looking at it, I was like, someone's just got to go first. You saw him grouping up top mid. I mean, if you're Mazer there, you at least have to get that first kill. It's just it seemed like a seam slid out and no one even got shots at him to start. Like he stood there ADS. Like that should be the disadvantage you're at, right? If you're sliding in from top middle, you should be getting shot first, having to like world star somebody.
Well, I think people don't like over peek it because it's such a common place for people to look down, right? If you shoulder for too long, you get team shot.
Well, we'll see it right here. I mean, this just looks so comfortable. Oh, okay. Well, he smoked somebody.
One more bullet.
Right,
one more bullet, he's dead. Yeah.
He smoked somebody. I thought he had so much time to ADS there.
He gets both of them. Like, he's the first guy going all the time. He got the first blood, he got the second kill, then he flies into pipes, too.
Well, we were talking about TJ in our optics series. Like, when that guy's going in and winning a fight,
it's over.
Everything is easier.
Yeah.
Regardless, every single game mode.
Yep.
And I think that's what stood out the most of the seam. How he sets up his teammates. FaZe bringing it back now. Down 3-0, now only down a round. Not the most common ADS spam with the ICR. I haven't seen that very often.
I'm like, please, yeah, let's change off that. I'm always kind of like, just like, it's not as fluid as like the Maddox.
Yeah,
like, I don't really like this.
That quick draw too makes it look a lot. When the elo makes it a lot more functional.
Yeah, exactly.
You just never see that. That looks so strange, right?
Like, please get off this guy. You're still doing it.
There we go. That looks way more natural. Just even like move, right?
Yeah.
Like just sort of sit there. 4v3, 3v3. Stellium gets the kill.
Spacely got behind him somehow. Spacely able to find 3, and Apox able to find up that last one in scraps.
That was a mess there. An absolute mess. Spacely, though, makes the play.
Yeah, I think he just got around jungle. Yeah, look, he dodges a nade or a stun. And then, yeah, so he gets stunned, but nobody picks it up from FaZe. Easy 2 kills. Finds the 3rd as well.
Nice round from space. Yeah, it's fortunate he didn't screw that jump up while he was stunned, just fall off the map. Looks like all out aggression from Mazer to B with just eyes on mid from window from Mosh. We saw this just a couple rounds ago. It backs up 0 instantly, and then they'll worry about the retake.
Yeah, you see what Mosh is doing now this time, right? He's just in pipes, and they're all going to run away. This is the scary part, though. This is like, you know, B-bomb on Hacienda. When you give up this position, it is so difficult. You have to check this bomb, and that just makes you have to peek wide, and you see what happens. There goes the first blood. Here comes the push now from FaZe, and there's already one player on the defuse. So FaZe is just trying to buy time. Here comes the retake, but is it going to be enough? Nope, 0 gets the defuse.
Joe, I think he called that perfectly.
Yeah, sure did.
Well, you think about last time they tried to play a little bit differently. A seam slides in. They're not able to hold. They smoke them. They try to change it up. Props to them for trying to change it up, but FaZe deals with it again.
If you're going to do that, though, you need top-middle presence. You need top-middle presence to check the bomb. Like, I don't mind the backup to pipes, but there has to be pressure elsewhere.
So you just have an issue with their post play. I mean, it's back-to-back times they've gotten the plant down. It's not been able to hold it at B.
Well, last time it was just they didn't have first blood, right? Mosh gets blooded, but that's a little bit different than a 5v5.
Oh, that's right. That was a 5v4, right? Yeah. Good call. It's a one less angle you can watch, right? I thought for some reason when it seems name drop, he just fall off the map. I thought he fell off the map for some reason. Looks like hard point 1. Is ring around the rosy we go. Favor to Mazer. 4 versus 1. 0 last alive again. So you got to try and clutch this one, though. Not a position where you're going off the map. You still have 60 seconds to work with 1v3. Don't want to give them the 5th round easily. Do you try to make the play?
He might be going off the map here.
You got to go for this. You got to go for this. I think this is the early game now, but at this point, with the scoreline the way it is, you go for it.
So I'll make this jump first. Has a stun in his hand if he's able to connect, but there's the slide. Like, everybody's just flying at him. And yeah, that'll be the round.
5th round on the board for Mazer. 1 round away from tying us up at 1 apiece. We'll see if FaZe can make the round to push this the distance. Play of the game, sorry, best play. 2 Barzillion, it's just gonna be the final kill on a teammate. And 0. I'm curious now to see if Mazer mixed anything up on offense. They've gotten easy plants at B. There's been splendid retakes from FaZe Clan both times. That they opt to go towards A.
Yeah, I mean, really, that first round they took top mid control. Maybe they go back to that, and it looks like that's what they could be doing. They also had a very slow A hit where they were able to catch Celium with that grenade towards the back, and maybe they're trying to do that. They're going to clear out elevator. Maybe they have a nade. They can get that player back elbow, then move on up. No nade this time, but still. They have the bomb if they want it.
Can they hold this time, or is it another FaZe retake? That'd be 3 defensive retakes in a row. This time, though, they get the first blood, and that's going to be a huge one. Jet Li wants to fly right in behind it. Trade after trade, but the favor the way of Mazer. Zuma, 1 versus 3. Mazer fully in control of this round. Zuma looking for an opening, but only 25 seconds to work with. First challenge in, they're gonna double peek him. He actually gets wall banged there by an ICR, and that's just gonna back him up even more. He just doesn't have the time to do anything. Great job by Mazer, just continuously backing him up, then Spacely gets under the window to catch him as he tries to slide out. Mazer looked very good in search. Expected though, the question is just, can they get a respawn? Can they get to a game 5 where maybe they can shock him?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you look at this control, because if map 1 was anything, FaZe are absolutely the better hardpoint team.
Well, isn't that actually, that's where FaZe got upset in their first series, right? It was against Animosity where they lost.
Arsenal control, yeah.
They got 3-0 there. Yep. I think they had smoke. So it's interesting. It's hard to call that is the one you think would happen, because FaZe has typically been a very good control team, but at least today with this small work, that's where they lost.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens.
All right, we'll see if they're able to do it, but it will be control coming up next. Series tied at 1-1, FaZe versus Mazer. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Hello and welcome back to FaZe versus Mazer. Into another respawn. Game 1 was destruction for Mazer as FaZe Clan ran right through them. FaZe Clan, though, already susceptible to a loss in control earlier today. Mazer got to take a respawn. Maybe this is where it can happen. Out the gates, though, it scraps with pressure into Church. Some help from Celium as well. Already 1 bit of progress in. What a snap, and Spacely just got evaporated.
I felt the hipfire had to hit, right? Like the first 2 bullets. Because he didn't even get around the tank yet. But a nice start for FaZe. They're able to at least find 1 take towards that A site, which we know is just so difficult to capture. And now they can focus on B, but you still have Zuma being annoying in the base, and well, he's just trying to find a couple of kills off spawn, slow these guys down, does exactly that. Beautifully done by Zuma.
Poor Mazer hasn't been able to get comfortable in so long. There's been so much presence on their side of the map, and Zuma just being a tear inside of their back building. Finally, Brazilian able to kill him as a swap to the RK7 of all things and drop him there. To be fair, the RK7 has been a mini nuke so far this tournament.
Most of the burst pistols are pretty good.
Yeah. This event, really for Miami, has just been nuts. 4 going to go down, though, for Mazer. That should be the point through. And they only need 1 more chunk of progress over towards A. Scraps working towards streaks as well, as he's 7-1.
There we go. Got off just a little bit too early there, but yeah, so close to streaks as well. Gets all those points from the capture, and they did so much work at A. They've kept them in the spawn, and well, there we go. They just cap it that quick.
That's a quick first round from FaZe. And I think Scraps ended like 25 off a streak, so a great chance to get it done, but we'll get eyes on with the best play from Celium throughout that first round. 1 melee in, and then gets to the back van and makes a play on the flank. Easy pickings there to help out his teammate. I think that's early in the game when he built out Scraps, I believe, when they were pushing forward, maybe. 8-1 start from Scraps. He's had some wild results in control. He was the one, what did he have? Was 16-0 or whatever that perfect game was early in the area. Not a single death in a control.
Well, he's going to pay it. He's going to know they're hitting the middle hit as well. So he's going to let his team know. Jet Li was the only one that committed. The other players went back to barrels. And look at that. Zuma was ready for it, knew that they were going to potentially change up their routes. And Scraps is able to find that kill. So now 10-1, 7 in a row. Plus he has the streaks if he wants to use them when they get into this B site. But Zero and Asim are set up. There's that lightning called in.
Scraps Maddox is different right now. That thing is shooting nukes. Nice shots from Celium. He is probably not easy to see set up behind this back
He
post.
looks like a lamp.
Continues to put in damage. More streaks in. Celium now 50 off of a Hellstorm.
The only thing that could go wrong for Cell is if he moves too far to the right, he's off the map.
Or if someone plays him.
Yeah.
Scrap's going to call another streak immediately after. You know how good they can be defensively, especially on a map like Seaside. Nice shot from the seam. Not enough in the tank there to finish the final kill, but they have a 7-life advantage. There's only 30 seconds remaining in the round. They've got an opportunity to retake this yet again. As Scraps and Zuma work together nicely. Caught by the cluster, it's still almost
yeah, still almost got that. Yeah, I don't know how he recentered like that with the cluster in his hand, but yeah, almost happened. Now can they hold on for the final 15 seconds? Mazer, it's desperation time. Masha's gonna find 2. Trying to get in. They only have 1 tick so far, and Zero still has the lightning if he wants it. Uses the stripe. Able to find 1 lightning strike in from Celium.
They really just need 1 more clean wave and they should be good. Just 10 seconds to go. You see 3 more players trying to funnel in off a spawn. The 1 guy inside, Barzillion trying to buy as much time as he can for his teammates to get back in. Suddenly there's 1 man left. Sorry, 2 players are left. It's going to be Spacely and Jet Li. Spacely will get dropped. They're having just enough time to get 1 more player in, but you're exhausting so many resources to try and get in. Even if they got that point, it was what, 14-5 or something in the lives department?
A lot to a little.
Yeah, it felt like that was that desperation sequence for them for 30, 40 straight.
Just trying to stop the clock, right?
And if they didn't, they lost. And they had to. There was only a play. They didn't even have time to send somebody on a long push over towards Church Deposit. We saw that. Who was that earlier? I was kind of slashing. They got in that position, bought a little bit of time for his team. We were commentating this map earlier today, but they just didn't have enough time to do that. (2-0) now for a FaZe clan. Very close to taking an edge in this series, but they'll be back to offense. They have TAC 5 instantly called in. Look at everything else. Celium's got his Tempest. Scraps has his War Machine and a Seam very close to his Slam.
Well, Cell uses the Tempest, able to connect with 1. TAC 5 in as well, as you said. You have 1 player going all the way around. That Zuma going on a huge Zuma flank right now. Celium finds 1 more with that Tempest, but Zuma's just doing what he did last time, right? Just staggering this push, just killing these guys off spawn. He's gonna go back into his room. This is now Zuma's room. This is where he lives. Welcome to his house, his casa.
And look at the minimap. All the focus to worry about Zuma is they're trying to push forward. They just keep turning around, checking to see if he's there. They really only leave 1 player to deal with it. It's gonna be Barzillion by himself, as Zuma is still a terror behind enemy lines. And his teammates, as they continue to find the kills, every time they're coming off spawn, they have to be worried about him. Finally, Barzillion, who is the patient player, is able to pick it up, but during that sequence, they're able to finish the B zone.
Yeah, I mean, he just takes so much pressure off of the team, right? They have to worry about him. They basically makes a 4 versus 4 towards that site.
This Seam is just flying on forward. He'll earn that grab slam to use.
Well, now with 2 minutes, 15 lives left. I mean, yeah, Celium close to more streaks, just 25 away. Can he find those? But yeah, you're just going to use all your specialists, try to get inside a Church, and then maybe close the game out with a streak if Celium can find it. Seems here with the grab slam. There goes Cell, so there's streaks once again for FaZe.
6 in a row for Cell, triple positive at 19-6. The talent, a little bit too much, I think, for the FaZe side right now. They are just too good for Mazer within these respawns. 5 lives left as Mazer come off spawn and try to make the play. They cleared him out for a moment. Scrap's going to be the only guy left here. He at least pushed up the map. But that cluster allows him to get an opening as his teammates flood through a barrel. So the right side of the map, sorry, bottom side of the map really cleared for them to make a push. And they're all just going to fly through this side. Now they've got a chance to even think about the spawn kills. Well, sorry, there's no spawn. What am I saying? Spawn kills. Get to the back spawn to find the kills. No one's spawning anymore from Mazer. 9 versus 2. The only advantage was with some extra health for Space Leave. That's not going to matter.
And don't worry. Oh, well, I was say if it comes down to it, they have Vision Pulse.
FaZe Clan, a 3-0 and a convincing one. The two respawns just haven't been close, like not whatsoever. It's a 100-point advantage in the early point of the hard point. They win 2 offenses on a map like Seaside, which is not easy to do. Maybe fix the mistakes they found in their first control when they took their first L of the day in their first series today. Now they can close it out on hardpoint. I know we're going to be going to the hardpoint. We're not going to go to FaZe's pick. We're going to Mazer's pick, but I don't know if that's going to be enough with just how convincing these two respawns are.
I just think, yeah, respawn-wise, it's very lopsided right now, right? You just see the talent. Everybody we go to is earning streaks, finding multi-kills. FaZe look great in respawns. It's what we expect from them.
Yeah, and that's what's interesting this year versus last. Like, I feel almost like, well, maybe not. Control, I guess, plays more like a hard point than it does like CTF or something. Like last year, maybe if you're an amateur team, I don't know, you find a little bit of luck, you get some good timings in a CTF. You play
really, like the 3D one sneak.
Yes, you play like a really slow game, you win like 1-0, you're able to pull it out. But like Control, you can't really. Like it's just not possible. Like it just
I mean, if they take the map from you, you're stuck in your base, right? Like you have to fight for map control, fight for the control of those zones, and yeah, you see what happens when FaZe takes it to them. They get all the streaks they want. I mean, I really like what FaZe did, though. Obviously, I think it's harder to set up against the top teams in the world, but on offense, if you can stagger a few players, you get Zuma in the enemy base, just waste time, you have a massive life advantage going from point B to point A, and you can take advantage of that.
And I think going into the next map is going to be Arsenal hardpoints. I don't think that bodes much well for Mazer. I mean, we've seen some absurd results from FaZe on this map, just what Zero is able to do with an ICR, how strong the Maddox combo is from them. I mean, they're really strong across the board, but they're very scary in a map like Arsenal.
I guess like, if I'm looking at like weaknesses for FaZe, like, going against like, some of the best teams in the world, really where I think they're going to struggle is there going to be a map where a team's running 3 SOGs and they can't match that, right? Like, I'd rather have Celium with an AR than a sub. Scraps, we know, one of the best Maddoxes in the world. Zero, he's going to play with that ICR. So if that 3 SOG meta does become, like, dominant, can FaZe match that, right? Like, it's going to be a difficult situation for them, but...
What's weird with 3 SOGs, it's like probably Zero is probably the guy that makes the most sense is he's run a sub
yeah, but it looks like what we saw on frequency. I think it was Celium who was running.
Well, it makes sense because I know, Zero's the ICR now. It's not going to happen, but like he's probably the one that's most comfortable in that role, I would think, just with how much he's been able to do it. But we're just waiting to get into this map 4. Arsenal up next. Mazer's hopes and dreams for a bracket play run at a risk of going down the drain unless they can take this map 4 and extend this series. It's just hard to have much faith just because of how the first 2 respawns have gone.
Yeah, but that was my point. Now we're going to, like, I mean, we saw frequency they were able to win, but now we're going to an AR dominant map with Celium, Zero, and Scraps. Like,
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck.
If you're Mazer, you just have to have a better opening. You can't go down massively. You just can't, especially on a map like Arsenal. Probably more punishing than frequency.
You give up streaks, right? Game's probably over.
Advantage to FaZe early. Still taking, I think, kind of 5 versus 3 in the lives department. Gets set up inside of the hard point.
Nice, missed every bullet, missed every single one. Was just trying to find one, not able to do so.
Fox just getting shut down inside of the vents, but Mazer will battle their way back in. Try to get the time and also try to flip these spawns if they can. It looks like they've got enough presence in mid-map to do that. Take a look at the right side spawn. 3 players from FaZe spawning all the way out. That's going to make their other 2 members in Zero and Asim try to back this up and get set up in the back garage.
Trying to wait for their teammates. Parzilian able to find Zuma. But here comes the pinch. So you're going to have 3 players push on through from FaZe towards artillery. Able to find that first kill. Jet Li, he's going to spawn so far out. Apoc still with a nice frag, going to make it a 4 versus 4. But because Zero was still alive towards the back, here comes the close reinforcements for FaZe. Scraps starting to get a little bit loud, and that's a clean break from FaZe.
Well, I get loud too with my Maddox hipfire. Seem to be connecting on every bullet from what we've seen throughout this series. Looks like he had a stub in his hand over that sequence. Team kill comes in for Mazer, but they're able to get 2 more behind that from Apoc. Inside of the hard point, still going to be FaZe Clan as they continue to hold. Nice little bait and switch there from the FaZe members. 1 guy left to push in. everybody inside the hard point, I think, ends up dropping.
Some of these gunfights Scraps is having are silly.
They're comical, yes. He's very good.
His Maddox is different, yeah, it's a cannon.
Well, that one kill he got on Spacely at the tank, I was just like, what was that? I thought, like, he died so fast, I thought he got team shot. Mazer set up in statue, but now comes into pinch. You really have like a three-pronged attack from vent, back steps, and also out towards that B street. They're going to come in and collapse. Mazer so far have been able to hold, but now Zero trying to get into position. Shoots a little bit preemptively and will get punished as a result. Nice hold from Mazer considering the comms that would take as the pressure was coming from everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I think Zero is thinking one player is in that corner, but that player backed up to vent, so there was two players right outside of vent. He gets caught, but as you said, you know, with Zuma coming out of vent, finding that first kill, and maybe thinking it's a little bit scary. Mazer able to hold on, but three go down for Mazer. Zuma trying to fly out. I think it's a bit of a dead slide, not able to find that second kill. Parzilian with a big one-on-one win, and well, he should be able to get the scrap time as FaZe. They're going to have to rotate towards artillery.
Brazilians 8-4 with a 5 spree right now. And we talked about the AR strength for FaZe Clan, but this is a pick for Mazer and Brazilian. I mean, early in the game, considered one of the better ICRs, so doing his best to go toe-to-toe with what FaZe Clan brings from that position. Thus far, a solid job, but he's going to have to do it throughout this entire map. But I think you're seeing why this is Mazer's pick.
Yeah.
Much more competitive in the early going. 92 to 55 looks a lot better than being down 0 to 100.
Now if you're Parz, you have to play for streaks. You just have to. So strong on Arsenal.
He wanted to challenge that so bad.
Yeah, you know he's thinking about it. Trying to just get a bullet into anyone to find 100 more. See, can he find Selim? He can. Nice wall bang. Gets the headshot. There's the lightning strike. And well, even behind it, his team's starting to get aggressive, contesting this time. Against FaZe and Spacely. Jet Li able to find that scrap time. I guess the one hill where maybe streaks aren't the best is going to be the next one where you have FaZe set up inside office.
Well, they win 2 gunfights towards the back. Spacely and Mosh find the opening, so they're going to start to push for back garage control. Spacely keeps it going. That next challenge is a ludicrous one. Gun 0. Doesn't even really take much damage in the second gunfight, and things seem to be collapsing for FaZe, but though they lost the gunfight to the back, I think their teammates were able to win them at the front, so they've been able to hold inside at least for now. But now in comes flying Spacely. He's now 200 off streaks. We've been on his POV throughout this entire tear. He's on 4 in a row. Can't quite finish the 5th, but gets the point on the assist, and that's another lightning strike in for Mazer, and that's a break in for Mazer. Still a big presence here from FaZe through Kitchen, but nice job from Mazer. This isn't the easiest break in the first push, and they were able to do it.
No, but that was beautifully done by Spacely, just going all the way around with that SOG.
Well, really a big gunfight against 0 like that. He loses that, a lot different probably.
I said it was going to get a little bit scary there because what FaZe was doing was setting up. They were spawning Mazer all the way in the that back warehouse. Getting set up middle of the map, but you have a couple of streaks if you want to use them if you are Mazer, and you might have to. Spacely, or sorry, Zuma and Scraps on both sides, just locking this down. Scraps somehow still alive. Lightning strikes in. And uh-oh. That's not good.
Apox is moonwalking, which we'll have to see when he comes back off spawn if there's an issue for him. Number 6 on the map, he's not moving. So unfortunately, there appears to be some kind of issue. I'm not sure if that's a crash. If it is a game crash, that's more than likely going to be a restart. So I think that's going to be coming back to us. And I mean, I guess the good thing is you're sitting at about a tie game. It was pretty close, I think, when he started, or maybe like a 10-point game, but it was pretty darn close.
Yeah, I guess the only thing if you're a Mazer, you have streaks, right?
Yeah, that
can help you.
That looked weird when he was just like this through the wall. I was like, that's probably not good.
Yeah.
Did I replicate that wall?
Yeah, go ahead, do it again. Just do it into the wall.
That's exactly what
No, like into the wall.
No. No? Okay. But no, yeah, I wasn't sure because obviously we saw the rulings in the last grand final. If it's like a PlayStation malfunction or something, that is something we get a restart. If it's a controller issue, that's on the player. That is your equipment. Yeah. You've got to try and swap. But it sounds like it was something with the console or the game crash. One of the two. So it's going to result in a replay. But and the good thing is it was a tight game. It was pretty much 50-50, except for what, the 1 lightning strike, 2 lightning strikes.
Yeah, I think the 1 light because they just used one and didn't find anything. So yeah, there was like a 1 lightning strike. If anything, Might be a little mad if you're FaZe, because it looked like you were starting to get a little bit rolling on that middle hill. But yeah, basically even. We're just going to redo it again.
Yeah, but less frustrating than some resets have been. So we'll get right back into it as soon as we can. Likely is trying to get the game booted back up and running, and we'll hop into it. If you're just joining us, FaZe win this. They take the series. They get top 2. They're into bracket play, which most people expected. Then, yeah, they'll have one more match tomorrow, but really it'll just be for first or second where they'll end up placing between them and Units.
Units, which will be a fun one, right? Like Scraps versus
oh, it's true.
Scraps and Zero versus Rated and Joe.
And I think all that beef has been kind of squashed at this point. But I know with Rated and Scraps, it was kind of interesting, at least after that team first broke up. I don't think there's any issues there anymore. Though.
No. I think Rated's talked about it, right? Like whatever, what's done is done. Yeah. But yeah.
But I still look forward to that. Anytime it's like a
bit of a rivalry, it's whatever.
Like I want EG versus United in bracket play more than I probably want any other matchup.
Just for JCAV versus Clay?
Yeah, I really want.
That'd be a fun one. I'm trying to think, is there any others? I mean, obviously, anytime we get 100 Thieves Optic, great time.
Well, yes, I would love to have that. I would love to have that.
Yeah.
It would be a quite enjoyable time. Have you actually seen how many of the other matches have gone? I know you're usually watching the quad split in the background. Do you see anything crazy? You can't see it this. Well, last time we cast on Bravo, you were giving me updates.
Because I was looking at them before.
Oh.
I'll look at it right now.
All right. Take your time. We're waiting to get back into it. I want to know what's going on in the other series, Joe.
Okay.
I want to walk over there and see if I can see.
That'd be impressive if you could see.
I have really good vision. All I see is a 0-0 control game. That's the E6 match. That's all I can see from here. I can't see what the series score is, though. I think it's 2-0 E6. Is my vision that good? That is so far away.
Is it actually?
I think it might be.
Let's see. No, nothing. Envy and Reciprocity is 1-1. I think that's really the only other game that we have.
No, I don't know what I was looking at.
Maybe you're looking at Reciprocity Envy?
I just made it up entirely, Joe.
Yeah?
I was trying my hardest. It's really, really far away over there. I was looking at that big screen in the distance. You guys can't see anything we're talking about, but we're just waiting to get back into the match. I think we're ready to get started.
We're starting.
Had to restart the client. Remember, it was basically a tie game. Had a bit of an issue with the client, so back in we go, and we'll see if FaZe can close it out here, or if maybe with the reboot, Mazer are able to get something going, push this to a game 5. But they start out, what was it, about 150-point lead, about 120 to 120 or so when the issue happened for Apox. Not sure who. I feel like there's benefits in this, I guess.
I don't think either team. I think you're right.
Really.
Right. It was about as equal as it was.
Because as much as FaZe had a slow start, you also were like bringing it back. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. It's kind of a wash. All right, here we go. Right back into Arsenal. See if anything changes from the break perspective. I think FaZe were able to win this relatively cleanly the first time through. There are bodies everywhere in front of Zero. I think he does approximately 500 damage and comes away with 3 kills. I don't think he even knew what to shoot at that point. No matter where he aimed, it felt like he was hitting something. We'll see if Zero.
Yeah, that's just piggyback off of that. ICR, right? Just stay behind that pillar. He continues now 255 off of streaks, now 130 off of streaks. I'm gonna tell you what, I think this may benefit Zero.
Yeah, the restart?
Yeah, now 5, yeah, he's gonna have streaks, yeah.
6-0 start out of Zero.
I know who it benefits now.
Yeah, wow, what a start. That just looks so ludicrous from his screen. When I find myself in those positions, I end up just missing everybody because there's so many things to shoot at. I don't think he missed a bullet in that
Well,
sequence.
yeah, what I obviously early on, what a lot of people were doing was just like trying to stay with the grapple player, and that's just too quick, like you can't do that. But then the problem is the auto aim drag takes you with the grapple player, so you have to sort of focus on the player behind him. It's a tough situation to deal with.
Well, he dealt with it. He got a lightning as a result. 41-1 the scoreline early. Mazer now looking to get set up in the hard point. Nate, I guess due to what, the number 8's position and space lead towards mid-map. Look how far out FaZe spawn. They spawn in absolute no man's land.
You still have the streak though, right? Front Zero. You can use that lightning strike and ice nade will slow things down. But yeah, they're gonna get them pushed up. Now, yeah, 3 gonna go down. You put them all in this area. That's gonna be 4. That's gonna be 5.
It's crazy though that even that break is only for like 15 seconds. Like, because it took them so long to get back in position, man.
It's true. The other side of the map, you do have Celium trying to do some work. He's able to find one on a Spacely, but Spacely should spawn safe. Just going to hold his kill cam.
You just don't often see that spawn that deep out. that was nuts. Zero. Taking a long way around.
You can see they're trying to set up the pinch right now. It starts with Zero. He's going to find this kill, and look at where they are going to spawn. I mean, Mazer all the way towards artillery. A perfect break from FaZe, setting up that pinch. Yeah, it just starts with the players up front winning that battle and then staying alive and then just waiting for Zero to go all the way around.
I think that's one of the single biggest improvements that teams get in Hardpoint over the course of the year is just manipulating spawns in the breaks, like how they get their hits.
Well, and just like while pushing, not dying, waiting for one another, right? Like there's sort of step-by-steps, and yeah, you do have to like sort of follow directions and go in order, and if you don't, you mess things up.
What year was it where I felt like people were still learning Hardpoint? Like at the it was like Envy. Envy like figured out a better way to break Hardpoint at the end of Black Ops 3. I remember like just some of their pinch attacks they would do, like no one was doing like all year long. And Champs in August is where they're pulling stuff out.
Well, I think because a lot of people in that game were like, you gotta play like Optic, right? Like that's just how it was, which was just so that flood style.
Zero closest streaks yet again on this 12-2 start. Scoreline pretty much opposite of what it was at this point. It was around a 90-50 lead from Mazer the first time through. Now it'll be Mazer needs to make the run to get back in the game like we saw FaZe do before the replay.
He's gonna tag one more. He's gonna find Spacely. More streaks for Zero. 12-2 still. Staying alive. Gonna have the Hellstorm as well. And yeah, I mean, it's really like just flip-flopped where, well, it was Spacely who was able to earn some streaks, then he went all the way around for that office hill. I think Mosh just overstayed his welcome there. Challenged way too many FaZe players. Gets cut down, but Spacely and Barzilian able to bring it back. But then there's Scraps with a cannon in his hands.
Yep. 7 in a row for Zero. 8 in a row for Zero. Something nutty just happened on Charlie or Delta. Is that Chance that was going crazy?
Not.
Or who is that?
That might be Spaceman.
Oh, it might be Spaceman. Yeah, I think, yeah, they're casting an Alpha right now. I think Ben and Chance, right?
Yep. Someone was destroying everybody.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like. Zero's streak will end, but he's 15-3.
Celium about to earn more streaks as well, and Zero is just destroying with an ICR.
He had a match in the Pro League that was like this, where he just literally dominated. He had like 5
Just like from any range, too. Like any range. Up close, his hip fire is just whatever he wanted.
Well, with approximately a 70-point advantage, we'll get now into our next set of rotations. Celium got his streaks. You have 4 to use now for the FaZe side. Celium shooting lasers as well. Tempest ready to use. Zero close to his vision pulse already, and we talk about how difficult. I mean, we've had players not get their vision pulse in a hard point.
Yeah, and that's been like the difference maker. Like one team gets it and one team doesn't. It's such an important specialist to hold hills, to break hills when you don't have it. But yeah, to get it this early.
And I don't know what happens after the replay. Look, dude, you have Mosh at 4-16. You've got Apox at 5-13.
Well, I mean, Mosh is your ICR, and look at Celium in Zero. Like he's just losing all of those gunfights. But I mean, it's not everybody on FaZe is double positive besides Asim. Literally everyone, or more than that.
And this wouldn't be the first map they've had like this so far today. They've had some ridiculous results. Oh, here, I need to find the tweet from JP.
It was like plus 42, I want to say.
I thought it was higher than that, to be honest. You might be right.
No, 42 is the E United Seaside. That's what it was.
No, I'm pretty sure it was higher than that. He tweeted just a little bit ago. Let me see if I can find it here real quick. FaZe Clan outslayed Animosity by 56. That's nuts. They're on pace to do that here if the game lasted long enough, I feel like.
9, 45, 33. It's around 40.
Impressive. Nonetheless, from FaZe Clan, now 32 points away from closing out this series and setting a date with bracket play. Zero has more streaks coming in. Zuma's now earned streaks. That's, what, 3 full sets that have been earned by FaZe Clan throughout this replay. Asim has his grab slam ready to pounce as well. as he's trying to hit the rotation across. Him and Scrap's going to work together to push out from this window side. Asim's able to take his gunfight. Now they'll flood on forward. Up high goes Asim. And of all things, it's Zuma's lightning strike that's going to take him out.
It's got to be so fun to be the grapple player, right? Just fly around the map, basically be Superman.
Hey, it was Karma said on Hotline, you're playing a different game. You're literally, everyone is playing one Call of Duty, you're playing a different one when you're the grabs. It's true, but 6 more points needed, and FaZe Clan will close out this series. They're able to do it in style as everybody puts on and dominates in the map 4. FaZe Clan looking like a team that can make the championship run here at the 2019 CWL Championship. I know it's early, but they have looked very strong today.
I mean, they've taken care of business, right? There's other teams who are at their level that are already eliminated, right? So yeah, I just, it's impressive the way they're doing it. I think the big thing, just have to win searches.
Well, who do you think, we haven't really talked about from this side. Like, obviously, if you're Gen G, you're gutted, right? Like, it's a horrible day for you. But do you think there's, like, a team that maybe really benefits from them getting knocked out? Like, have they really been a thorn on the side of anyone? I know Clay said after they beat them, he said we finally got past them at the last event.
I would just say, like, 100 Thieves because they lost to them, right? Like, it's just that mental game, like, the confidence going up against them. Them and Optic always had a couple of crazy series. I think Optic's knocked them, or they've been knocked out by Optic a few times.
I feel like if you're any top team, you're just like, yeah, all right, one less team we have to go through, right?
Because they're such a different team in the fact that, like, because they're so search and destroy dominant, or they have been, like, it's just they're never out of a series, right? Like, they're always just sort of, like you said, that thorn in your side. So I think, yeah, most top teams are probably okay with it.
FaZe, one of those. I mean, FaZe have been cruising throughout today. They've watched one of their top competitors in Gen G already get knocked out.
Well, yeah, FaZe is probably happy because that's who FaZe lost
okay,
to.
though that's a better answer to the question. FaZe, who would have Gen G matched up against? I guess is another answer I'm looking for. Like, where would they match up in the bracket? Like, which
winners round 1? If they got second, would have been the United.
Okay, so United gets away with one.
Yeah.
If they would have been able to pull out top 2. I mean, that's a grand finals rematch from Miami. You would have had round 1, so you don't have to deal with that if you're United. That's certainly a blessing, but we're just kind of re-looking through the pools here so you can see where we are.
Yeah, I mean, FaZe units will play for first place. NV Reciprocity, I think, is still going on right now. It looks like they're in game 4. It looks like Reciprocity is about to win. That's what, like 240 something?
It's 246 to 191, so yeah. Reciprocity is about to take it.
Is it about to be the series or game 5?
I believe it's 2-1 from what I can see from here. Those numbers are really small, but I think it's 2-1. Reciprocity.
Okay. So Reciprocity, and then tomorrow Team War and Fuego, so you'll have like Josh versus Mad Cat to get out, right?
I kind of like that, yeah.
That's a great story right there.
Yeah, I feel like these old, like a lot of these EU veterans, like can't avoid each other. Like, think about the AM final you just had in Miami. Like, it ends up being a lot of these like top veterans, top players from Europe just keep bumping into each other in these big spots.
Yeah, but those first 4 groups, they've played 2 games today. These next 4, they haven't. They've only played 1 today. They will play 2 tomorrow. So not a lot of stories really lining up for these last 2 groups. I think the big one you have to watch out for Luminosity tomorrow. EG versus Optic, Splice versus Heretics, but besides that, there's nothing too crazy.
Well, no, these final 4 look exactly like they should outside of LG.
So, yeah.
Well, I guess we'll see if we'll get any kind of startling upsets. I think that's good. That might be a great benefit for LG, the sense that you lost that match. Yes, right. You have a day off. Yeah. You can come back and play your 2. Like, if you had to play your 2 today and you had that loss, I guess, yes, maybe you rebound from it in a big way. It pisses you off, but I think I'd be of the side. I'd prefer to have one off.
Envy, it looks like, just won that game somehow. They came back and won that game.
But between the time we were talking and it was 246 to 191, they won? There's no way.
They won. They just won.
How?
Reciprocity always makes it hard on themselves.
Were we even talking long enough for them to come back and win?
I told you, they always do this. They all, like, that is all, wherever Reciprocity is going to be an entertaining pool because they love game 5s. They just make it hard on themselves.
Unbelievable. All right, I didn't even think we talked 50 seconds for that to happen, but apparently we did. And then I believe it's going to be midnight Sicario to start things tomorrow on Bravo. So we'll have Alpha through Delta tomorrow, another fantastic day of group play. For those of you that have tuned into Bravo today, it has been chaos. But 10 a.m. Pacific, we start tomorrow, twitch.tv/Call of Duty Bravo. We'll see you tomorrow.
Day 1 done.